What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. Not clickbait at all of the ultra modern sets are really starting to crash down in price. We've got all the coverage for you, and I'm going to show you my recommendations of what I would buy in a crashing market. I'm going to tell you the price points that I would buy into stuff like Surging Sparks, Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, all those big juicy sets, and why I'm waiting on buying them at the moment. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. So, not clickbait at all, we're talking about the market crash that's already happening right now. We can see it right in front of our eyes, and it's not across the entire Pokemon sealed market, it's across ultra modern. I'm talking about the last few sets of Scarlet and Violet that have come out. We're talking about Destined Rivals that's not even out yet. We're talking Surging Sparks, Journey Together, Prismatic Evolutions, all coming down in price. And it's not surprising, to be honest. I've been calling this happening for a long time. The hype has been way too much. The prices are so artificially inflated on these sets, and anyone who's been in the hobby for any length of time will know that really that is true, and that these prices are not sustainable, because we all know Pokemon Company is just going to print more of these sets because they're well within print, they're ultra modern, and we're starting to see prices crumble in front of our eyes, which is brilliant. The first thing we need to talk about is the set that's on the tip of everyone's tongues at the moment, which is Destined Rivals to come out. Now, I think Destined Rivals has the potential to be one of the strongest sets of Scarlet and Violet. I think it's going to be one of the best performers over a long period of time. So we're talking 4 years, 5 years from now. However, what is the price point that we're going to buy in at? Because it's not going to be at this price point right now on these pre-releases. We were seeing pre-releases go for the last couple of weeks for $300+. We're starting to see that reduce now as people are starting to realise that you can get pre-orders and allocations now for product, and there's probably going to be a bit more of it available than people first anticipated. I'm not going to say that it's going to be sitting on shelves and you'll be able to pick it up for retail. I don't think that's the case, but I'm not paying $300 for a booster box the way the market is right now. We're another 4 weeks out from release, and I think we're going to see prices continue to drop on the pre-orders for Destined Rivals. I'm happy to wait. Even if it's still way over retail on release, I'm happy to just wait a bit, because I think in 6 months' time, it's either going to be the same price as it is now on pre-release, but we can see the data, or it's going to be much less because they've printed a lot more. And for me, it's not worth taking the risk to FOMO into this set. So we're seeing prices start to drop on the pre-order. $250 is the lowest that I've seen, sort of like last sale in the US. There is one here that sold yesterday as well for $285. Look at this, guys. The booster bundle pre-selling for $67. That's absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. That's nearly, that is $11, more than $11 for a booster pack on a pre-release set. We've never seen that, okay? In the whole history of Pokemon and sealed product, we have never seen prices go $11 a pack on a pre-release. It's just never happened, and it's not sustainable. I do believe in the set, and I do think that, like I said, it'll be worth more than retail on release, but that is just way too much. Last sold for pre-orders in the UK, £234. Again, it was about $300 a couple of weeks ago. We're starting to see that crumble. I wouldn't rush into FOMOing it to buy in at this price right now. Yeah, you might not get any on release for cheaper than this, but just leave it a couple of months. Trust me, weather the storm. Destined Rivals is going to be in print for 2 years at least. Probably a little bit more given how the rotation's going. But yeah, Don't rush into it. If you're new to the channel, by the way, I compare both the US markets and the UK markets for pretty much everything across sealed product for ultra modern. The reason why we do that is because we can draw similarities between our two markets, and quite often it helps us shape a real positive picture of what's going to happen when US goes out of stock, if we're already out of stock, and vice versa. And it really does help to give us a well-rounded view of what's going on in the worldwide market with Pokemon, because that's very important. A lot of Pokemon YouTubers just focus in on the US market, and I think that's quite naive, because we live in a world where there's global trade. And people move boxes around, I'm telling you. A lot of the time, if we've got cheaper booster boxes here in the UK, you'll see that all of the last sales on US eBay are UK imports. We'll just retail arbitrage across the pond. And we're starting to see the reverse now as well. You're starting to see Japan sell more on Pokemon Center US as well. And I think over the next couple of years, you're going to see more of that. You're going to see more worldwide trade. And eBay's going to reduce those barriers that are in place that are currently putting a lot of people off of doing international trade. I think they're just going to make it super easy. I've called this out in videos before. I'm calling that eBay, or even if it's not eBay, it's going to be a competitor that's going to rise up in the next 5 to 10 years and just make an international marketplace that's similar to eBay. It doesn't matter what country you're in. It's just going to calculate it all out for you. But anyway, I'm going on a tangent. That's enough about Destined Rivals. Just hold out. And that is true for the message of all of these ultra modern sets at the moment. Look, we're seeing prices really start to correct back down to what they should be for such new sets that are well within print. And I think we're going to continue to see them fall. Don't skip off the video straight away though. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not all market crash. Later on in this video, I'm going to show you all the products that are going up in price, all the stuff that's out of print, and make my recommendations from someone that's been doing this a very long time now on what I think is going to be going up in value real soon, so you don't have to wait. Journey Together, again, price correcting down. It hit a peak of around about $275 here in March, and we're seeing last sales now $212, $217. Let's go on to the 1 month chart. You're just seeing it really start to correct down in price, and I think it's going to continue to correct down in price. I think it's kind of still crazy that it's still trading over $200 a booster box. I think we're going to see massive print waves of Journey Together over the next 6 months, and I think people are getting scared and starting to dump their product and take their profit quickly while it's still there. I think that, again, Journey Together, just like Destined Rivals, is a hold. I would expect to see retail price Journey Together within the next 6 months. However, that's not a guarantee, and I think that quite a healthy price point to buy into it, where you're not really going to lose if you hold it long term, is around about $180. I think that should be the market price of around about Journey Together real soon. So just hold out again on buying Journey Together. Last sold in the US, again, every time I check it's just lower and lower. This is a minty one of the enhanced version, so it has the box topper as well, the promo card. $195, so you go sub $200 booster box there for Journey Together. I think it will continue to drop. I think 180 is an okay price point, but like I said, I do expect to see retail boxes of it within the next 6 months. £187 is the cheapest for the enhanced version, or last sold even in the UK. I think if you're in the UK, buying point is like 160 max. I think we're going to be at 160 real soon in the UK for Journey Together. Surgeon Sparks is the same story. I'd put Surgeon Sparks as a slightly better set than Journey Together, but again, really just continuing to see this correction down in price, and it had quite a massive correction last week. So 252 was the average last week. Last sold 242, and you're like, oh, it's only $10, but $10 is quite significant when we're talking about these kind of price levels. You know, we're talking around about the 5% range, but 5% week on week on week on a set that is probably going to get some real heavy reprints. I think Surgeon Sparks sub $200 a box is not an unrealistic price target. We're at 242 now, and we haven't even seen these print waves hit. Like, we haven't seen these major reprints hit, and it's going to be in print for a long time. That's what you need to remember. I do think as well we're going to see retail price surge in Sparks. I know a lot of people on my channel disagree that we'll ever see retail surge in Sparks. I do think it will happen, but I think it's less likely to happen than Journey Together sitting around on shelves in a few months' time. And when I say a few months, I mean like 6 months, 8 months, a year's time. You know, give it a little bit of time for them to fire up the printers and really pump some product out there. I think it will happen, and I think the hype will move away a little bit. I think Surgeon Sparks will perform really well on the long term. So my buy point for Surgeon Sparks is probably going to be around about, again, the $180 mark. Once it drops to around that price point, I'll consider buying into it. Last sold in the UK, £172, basically 175 all in with postage. Half booster box, when you add it up, is 166. A little bit more realistic, not too far away from retail price as well. Retail price just over the 140 mark. So I think buy price for the UK is like £160. I think once you see 160, you can just buy into it. And then if it does drop to retail a few months later, just increase your position, just buy some more boxes. I think you're not going to lose at 180 if you hold it for a couple of years at least. Prismatic Evolutions, again, another product that I'm expecting to see massive price corrections. However, it's slightly different compared to your Journey Together, your Surge in Sparks, etc. Because obviously it's not a mainline set. We don't have the booster boxes, and that really can help it maintain a little bit of value on the Elite Trainer box, just because to rip a significant amount of packs, you've got to go through a decent amount of boxes. So boxes just get chewed up a lot quicker than with booster boxes. I think it's such a fire set. There's still so much value in the cards as well. So although I'm expecting a decent amount of reprints probably landing next month, sort of around about the time that Destined Rivals comes out, and I think they'll continue to do more and more waves of Prismatic, I don't think it's going to affect the price too much. I think we're going to see a decent price correction from where it is now, the 120 range. Because I think that's unrealistic if they continue to print it. But I don't know. Buy point for Prismatic Evolutions, really, if I'm seeing in the future anything around about the $85 mark, I'm buying into it. I think that that's a decent prediction for it to drop down to. Maybe even up that a bit. I think $90, you'll definitely be able to buy product within a few months for $90. I'd just hold out. I think that out of the two sets, Prismatic Evolutions and Destined Rivals are probably going to hold value the most during this ultra modern crash, just because there's so much demand for both of those sets. But I do think Journey Together and Surging are just going to get printed into the ground over the next year, and we're going to see very close to retail prices, if not retail prices. So that is a basic roundup of what's going on with ultra modern really having those massive price corrections, which we kind of all knew was going to be coming, let's be honest. The hype cycle was never going to be able to maintain itself with so much product on its way, and I think that people are really going to be shocked at how much product actually comes out over the next year for those sets. I think we're going to see a lot of Journey Together, a lot of Surge in Sparks, and a lot of Prismatic Evolutions as well. But like I said, I think the Prismatic ETB is going to hold a little bit of value. Last sold in the US, $125. Like I said, $85, $90. I think it's a buy, but I'm just holding on for now. I think that there's going to be a lot more out in the wild, because if it's out there in the wild for retail, yes, it gets eaten up, but then those people flip it for the $85, $90, and that's where you'll pick it up on the secondary market, I think, over the next few months. Last sold in the UK, 104 with £5 postage, so nearly 110, which is kind of crazy. I've got a couple behind me on the shelf there that I was lucky enough to get on pre-order for retail. I paid £50 each for them, so the fact that they're selling for more than double that is kind of crazy, and we haven't even had a proper second wave of reprints yet. I'm tempted to sell them for 105, to be honest. I know it's seen as scalping, but like, That's just crazy price. Come on, 105. If people want to pay that, I'll just sell them for 105 and buy them back again for like 70, 75 quid in like a month's time. Just kind of seems stupid to me. Let's have a look at stock levels then. US Pokemon Center, I don't know what's going on, but it is still for week on week on week out of product of every single product that has any kind of booster box in there. That just goes to show there's nothing available for retail on the primary market from the official source. In the UK it's a little bit different. Similar to last week, no change really. Paradox Ref booster boxes, Temporal Forces booster boxes. I want no one in the UK, right, complaining that they can't buy stuff for retail when they can't wait for Pokemon to crash and they can buy stuff for retail again. Okay, it is right in front of you. Right now, it is right in front of you. Retail booster boxes. Oh, but I don't want to buy Paradox Rift. I don't want to buy Temporal Forces. Stop trading so emotionally. Honestly, when you've been doing this a long time, this is a no-brainer. They're two good sets. They will do well long term. You just might have to sit on them for a while, but you can't lose if you buy these booster boxes for retail. I'm telling you now, you will kick yourself if you are in the UK right now and 5 years from now you look back and you go, oh, I could have bought Temporal Forces booster boxes for retail, but I was too busy complaining that I couldn't buy any Destined Rivals on release. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're really in this for the investing and you're not got your collector's head on and you're not trading emotionally, Temporal Forces booster box for retail is a crazy good buy. I've got a few of them, and interestingly, the only change that I've seen from last week is, weirdly, we have Scarlet and Violet base set booster bundles back in stock. Haven't seen them in stock for a little while. Might pick a few of those up, actually. I'm not saying Scarlet and Violet base set is a super desirable set, but again, if you look at things logically and don't trade emotionally, over the long haul, that's a decent buy. I mean, you look at some of the other base sets like Sun and Moon base set. I know I talk about it a lot, but Sun and Moon base set was the big set coming out when I first got back into like Pokemon investing, and it did really well. The packs now are like $11, $12 a pack, and it was printed into the ground, and the hits are rubbish, and it's a rubbish set. Hey, if I hold on to this, a few of these, it doesn't cost me much to buy into it. $23.94. We're talking, what even is that for pack price? I want to know that. $23.94 divided by 6. $3.99 a pack in a sealed product, so it's not loose packs. Just buy a couple of them for 50 quid. Put them in the back of a cupboard. They take up like no space. I guarantee, right? And you're going to have to wait a long time, but I guarantee in 8 years' time, 9 years' time, you'll forget you've got that. You'll dig out Scarlet and Violet base set, and it'll be $10, $15 a pack. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And then that booster bundle will be worth, what? Let's just say, like, realistically, it's going to be at least $10 a pack in 8 years' time. So 10 times 6, 60, 600, $60. So you end up like tripling your money, basically. So just something to be aware of. Like, just don't complain that there's nothing for retail, because the US viewers will be mad because they genuinely have nothing available for retail. Look, they've literally bought out everything. This always makes me laugh. You get like these little like mini portfolio binders. No one cares about this portfolio, but it's got one pack of Vivid Voltage in it. Vivid Voltage is a terrible set for holding value, but it comes with one booster pack, so we've got to buy it. We've got to buy them all out for $5 because you get a Vivid Voltage, you get a sealed pack. Honestly, they would love to have a Pokemon Center like us in the UK right now, so don't neglect it. There are deals to be had right there if you just change your mindset a little bit. Right, let's move on and start looking at the safer investments. While Ultra Modern is crashing, and crash is a strong word, but it's correcting in price. You've got to use strong words on YouTube, okay? But Evolving Skies is one of the safest bets for a long-term hold. It is easily one of the best sets that has ever come out of Pokemon, ever. Not just of the last 10 years. ever. And it has so much hype behind it. It's all of the hits from it are so iconic. Everyone loves the EVs as well, and it is just holding at an all-time high around here. Last sold $1,400. Look at this, $1,489. That's the highest I think I've ever seen it sell. If that's not the highest I've ever seen it sell, then it's very close to what it is on its all-time high. Last sold in the US, $1,200. I think that is a bargain price. I want to buy it now as well for a minty box. And then in the UK, I don't know why the UK market now it's under $1,000. Absolutely crazy. It was like £1,200 at its peak, maybe like $1,250 or something. I saw one go for, but on an auction, $925. There's another one here, $924. You're never going to get another opportunity to buy Evolving Skies for under £1,000. Honestly, the UK market is so spoilt right now. Fusion Strike sat at an all-time high, easily top 3 set of Sword and Shield, if not top 2. I put it in my top 2, but some people prefer Lost Origin. That's fair enough, but price wise it's definitely number 2. It's pulled ahead. Last sold, let's have a look, 475. Look at this, 508, 470, 470, just bouncing around that $500 mark, and just trying to break through that $500 resistance. I think that it will do over the next few months, and then that'll be it. $500 will be the support, and that'll be the cheapest you'll ever get it. Again, I think this is the last chance that you're going to get, and when I say last chance, I mean like over the next month or so. Like, you don't have to buy now, but I'm talking about over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks. It's probably your last opportunity to buy Fusion Strike for under $500. Last sold, look at this, see, this is what I'm talking about. Look, last sold US, buy it now, $480. Actual last sold, $439. Best offer accepted from the UK. Retail arbitrage at its best. Fusion Strike is much cheaper over here. It's been in stock for much longer. Someone's just selling it across the pond because they can make money. You're going to see more of this over the next couple of years, and that's why you need to pay attention to this channel in particular, because I give you those worldwide prices and what's going on in the market, not just US but also EU as well. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe it makes my predictions more accurate, go back through the channel. All the proof is there. Go back and pick a random video. It's a nice challenge to do. Pick a random video from 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago plus, and just have a look at the prices, look at the analysis, and just look at the predictions that I'm making and compare them to now and see if they've come true. And I guarantee nearly all of them have come true. Like, I think I've got about a 95% success rate with, like, not just predicting which sets will go up, but like with crazy accuracy on what the actual price point will be 12 months from now, 2 years from now, etc. Go back and have a look. I'm not hyping myself up, honestly. Just go back. It's all there. Let's have a look then. Last sold in the UK, 353. What are we doing here, people? What are we doing here? Even at 353, I've got a box on the shelf there, bottom shelf, Fusion Strike booster box. I paid $330 for it, probably about a month ago. So $330 was way over market at the time. Market, they were regularly selling for like $315. I paid $330, which was the highest priced one on eBay at the time. And I need to say this because a lot of new people to seal collecting and investing don't understand this mindset. They're trying to buy the cheapest product possible. It's not about that. You want the mintiest box possible, and I am happy to pay £15, $20, maybe even $25 over what market is to guarantee that I've got a nice minty box, because it makes things so much easier to sell further down the line. It really does. It will sell quicker, it will sell for more money. So condition is everything. It really is. Let's have a look at Lost Origin then. Lost Origin is sitting at its all-time high. Again, top 3 set of Sword and Shield. It just looks so cheap to me, all this stuff now. It just looks super cheap. 384 last sold on TCG Player. 385 last sold on US eBay, 333, 335, last sold UK. I'm just going to buy another box of Lost Origin. I have to. I get paid again on Monday. I'm just going to buy another box of Lost Origin. Even if it's more than this, even if the price on Monday is $350, I'll just buy it. I don't care. Like, there's no way, in my opinion, that's not a $500 box all day long. There's just no way. No way. And I'm not talking about a $500 box in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time. It should be a $500 box today. So in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, it should be $520, $530. It's lagging behind so much to Fusion Strike, and there's no reason for it. They're both fire sets. They've both got fire chase cards. They've both got so much value. I do prefer Fusion Strike, but I already hold some. But Lost Origin just looks so cheap right now. Look at this, $385, sub 400 for Lost Origin, when Fusion Strike is like bouncing on the $500 mark. It doesn't make sense. They should both be at 500 at least. Probably even more. Probably closer to 600, I think, for where the market is right now. So it's not all doom and gloom in the ultra modern. I mean, it is ultra modern because it's Scarlet and Violet, but it's not like ultra modern. It's not over the last few sets. Paldea Evolved has been confirmed to be getting reprints, but it's trading at an all-time high, and it's up 118% over the last year, and it's getting close to being out of print. Paldea Evolved pulling ahead. We've got the data here. That's what we really want to see. We want to see a year at least of positive growth through hype cycles, through downturns, through reprints. This is really positive. Paldea Evolved is going to do well long term. Yes, it's getting reprinted. I don't think there's going to be much of it getting reprinted. I think people are going to buy it out. I'm loading up on Paldea Evolved right now, even though it's technically not out of print yet. I think that this will be the last print wave of it coming up now, and I don't think it'll drop price that much. 230, 245 last sales. Look at this. It's just vertical on the chart, and sit on it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, ideally 5 years, and it will be a crazy price. I guarantee it. I mean, you can't guarantee anything because it's all just cardboard and it could go to zero, but I can almost guarantee it. I can almost say for sure. You guys know what I mean. Come on. Last sold in the US, 240. Another sale, same day, 200. That's quite a swing in price for 2 buy it nows on the same day for 2 minty boxes. Do you know what that tells me? That tells me there's deals out in the market. So, and this is on buy it nows as well. You don't even need to snipe an auction. Whoever picked this up for $199, I think you did well for yourself right there. I think that's a real steal, whoever listed it at that. That's obviously someone who just bought in for retail and was just taking profit. But yeah, market's moving and it's jumping. 240 now. Who knows? You know, if you want to hold out till next month to buy, cool, that's fine. You know, if you don't have the money to buy now, that's not an issue. But just be aware that you'll probably pay 260 for it or 270 for it. You know, the market can really move that quickly. Once it starts going, it's like a snowball. It will just continue to go. We saw that with Evolving Skies last year. I think you're going to see it with sets like Prismatic Evolutions. I think Paldea Evolved is going to do a similar thing as well. Not close to Evolving Skies, but I think it's going to have that snowball effect that once people realise that there's going to be no more of it coming out, I think it's really going to start ramping up in price. And that's when we're going to see Paldea Evolved hit the prices of like Fusion Strike is now and Lost Origin is now. It's going to start being a $400 box, a $500 box. I can see it happening. It's just time. It's just time in the market. It just needs age to get out of that print window and to have more of it cracked open. Last sold in the UK, £182, £185. I think around about the 180 to 185 mark is a decent price point for the UK right now. Twilight Masquerade starting to creep up in price, getting closer to its all-time high. Had an all-time high of about 231, and then last sales 215, 223. So we're below all-time high for a really successful set. We've got at least a year's worth of positive data, over 100% profit, over 100% price gain over the last 12 months. is going to get a reprint. So we may see a little bit of a reduction in price. We may be able to scoop up some deals, but it's just continuing to climb up in price. Again, you can't lose. If you buy in at $220, okay, next week it might be $210 and you'll kick yourself. But really, if you're sitting on it for 4 years, do you really care that you missed out on $10 at the beginning? Or were you happy that you bought into it and didn't miss the opportunity? Because just as equally that it could go down $10 this week over the next 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, it could go up $10 or $20. Like, the swings are so big at the moment. Like, don't always try and time the market, okay? With ultra modern, with your Journey Together, your Surging Spark, you can afford to time the market a little bit more because they're so new that they're going to be in print for so long. We could see many more print waves. You've got more opportunities to buy in if you miss the perfect opportunity. Sets like Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved, they're getting up there in age now. And, you know, if you're trying to time the market and find that perfect point to buy in at, you might just miss it. It might just go out of print and then the price just runs away from you. It could easily happen. I'm loading up on Twilight Masquerade at the moment as well. I'm hedging my bets a bit. I'm loading up on a lot of stuff right now. I'm loading up on PE, Twilight Masquerade, Prismatic Evolutions if it gets any cheaper. I'm buying Fusion, I'm buying Lost Origin, I'm buying Crown Zenith. I'm buying so much right now. All these people that I talk to in the community, and you can tell who the people are that are new to the community, and that's fine. You know, we were all new at this at one point, but so many people in the community are like, oh, I think I'm just going to hold out buying sealed product until the market completely crashes and everything falls apart and everything's available for retail on shelves. Okay, you'll be waiting a long time. You're going to miss these sets if you do that. Okay, you're going to miss Twilight Masquerade in print. You're going to miss Paldea Evolved in print. You're going to miss probably getting any Prismatic Evolutions. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be so caught up in getting the perfect price point to buy in. Okay, it's okay to buy in at whatever market is for sets that have got up there a little bit in age. Okay, this is what we're looking at, stuff on the graph, the way we've got like a year plus worth of positive data. Okay, that is not trading emotionally, that is trading on data. It's a solid set. You can see the demand from the community. That's what I base my decisions on. Last sold in the US, $204. Whoever took that photo, that looks so fake. I know it's not a fake box, but look how fake this looks. Like, the colours are all off on that. Maybe that is a fake box. It actually looks pretty legit, to be honest. I'm not saying it's legit, but yeah, that does look like a legit box, to be honest. But look at the colours. I don't know why the colours are so off. It almost looks sun faded, like someone's kept that in the sun. Just be cautious when you're out there buying, people. Last sold in the UK, 155 with some postage, so like 160. That's gone up a bit. You know, last week you could get that for retail. It was like 140, 145. We saw a couple there, so starting to creep up in price. Do think it's going to get reprinted, but I don't think it will affect things too much. 151 Elite Trainer boxes we need to talk about briefly. They are holding at an all-time high. They are quite a ridiculous price at the moment, $220. It's very much a case of if Pokemon 151 Elite Trainer boxes get reprinted, they will price correct quite hard. If they don't get reprinted, they're going to the moon. And this is the cheapest point to buy in. So it's a gamble to buy in now at the current price on 151 Elite Trainer boxes. I'm 50-50 whether they're going to reprint it or not. And even if they do reprint it, how much is coming? It's a very risky buy, but we got a lot of data. Let's look at a year's worth of data. 259% increase over the last 12 months in price on the 151 Elite Trainer box, which is crazy. Just continues to blast through its targets. Like I said, if it gets reprinted, it will price correct, but it's a gamble. It's not a gamble that I'm buying into at the moment, but part of the fun of this channel is that I'm just giving you the information so that you can make your own decisions. And if I see a play in the market, I'm going to point it out to you. This is a risky play, but it's high risk, high reward. Maybe you're a big believer of 151. Maybe you want to buy into it. Just putting it out there so you've got all the info. Let's have a look then at some more Sword and Shield. We'll zip through the last few sets. Astral Radiance looks like it's dipping on the charts, but it's really not. It's actually holding an all-time high. All-time average high price is 271. Last sold 269, 274. So 274 again. Those are all-time high selling prices on TCG Player. So again, just holding at an all-time high. Just looks mad cheap for a decent Sword and Shield set. 251 last sale, but that was on a 10% off promotion. Was trying to sell it at 280, couldn't sell it for 280, dropped it 10% down to 251. See, this is again what people need to realize with Pokemon boxes and investing. You can always get your money back. You can always get your money back. Not necessarily how much you paid for it. Obviously, if it crashes in price, you can't get all of your money back. But if you want to liquidate, this is what I'm talking about. If you want to move boxes, you can always move boxes. Honestly, just take market price, drop it 10%, sells instantly. So if you've been holding that box for 2 years and it's up 200%, 150%, and you quickly need some cash, you're not going to care about dropping it 10% because you're still up 90%. 150% on what you paid. Okay, booster boxes particularly are so liquid. Okay, now you might not get the price you want for it instantly. If you want market price or above market price, you're gonna have to let it sit on eBay. But if you want quick money, just drop it a little bit below market price. And this is what I was talking about. If you've got the minty boxes, people will just snap them up straight away. They are so liquid if you've got a decent eBay account with a little bit of decent feedback. Okay, let's talk about Crown Zenith then. Crown Zenith is one of my favorite investments right now. I really want to buy more of it, but I'm in a difficult spot at the moment where I'm selling off quite a lot of my Sword and Shield Elite Trainer boxes just to clear out a little bit of space, because it's getting to the point now where I've been doing this so long. I'm more now not just trading on what the best product is. I'm also trading on like how much space it takes up for how much money it's worth. So in the spot of an Elite Trainer box, I could store 2, maybe 3 booster boxes. And then if we're talking like Sword and Shield, maybe something like Fusion Strike. In the space that I could fit one Crown Zenith Elite Trainer box, which is worth, I don't know, $135, I could fit 3 Evolving Skies booster boxes, which are worth nearly 4,000 US. So I'm trying to limit myself to not buying too many Elite Trainer boxes at the moment, but it's really hard because I really love Crown Zenith. So although I've got Elite Trainer boxes going out the door from Sword and Shield, I'm taking profit on them, and these are good boxes. Okay, these are boxes that will continue to go up in value. I'm selling Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes, I'm selling Champions Path Elite Trainer boxes at the moment, and people are snapping them up because I've got nice minty looked after boxes. They love it, they really do. And it's not that they're not good investments and they won't continue to grow. Like I said, it's purely down to space, and I'm not afraid to take profit on them as well. The Evolving Skies Elite Trainer boxes, I'm 5x on what I bought it for because I bought them for retail. I'm quite happy to cash that out. And people say, oh, but it's Evolving Skies and it's the best set ever and blah 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 blah, and why would you sell it? And it's like, well, yeah, but I actually still own loads of Evolving Skies. I own booster boxes still. I've got loads of sleeved. I've got a battle the pre-release kits for Evolving Skies that I got from the launch day. I've got loose booster pack. I've got so much Evolving Skies. Don't you worry about my Evolving Skies supply. But yeah, don't be afraid to take profit when you need to take profit. And I'm just piling it back in. I'm using that money to buy more Crown Zenith. I'm buying that money to buy more Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, these kind of things. So don't worry about that. Don't be afraid to take profit if you want to take profit. But yeah, if it wasn't a space issue, I would buy 10 Crown Zenith right now. But it's just a lot of space. That's all it is for me. But yeah, really, really good buy. If you've got the space, I think it's solid. Every time I look, every week it's up to a new all-time high. Let's have a look at last sales then. $149. That's the highest I've ever seen it sell. Basically $150. Last sold on eBay US. $130 on an auction. 135. 125, 144 on a buy it now. That's crazy. Look at the difference in price, right? 144 to 125. Buy it now's on the same day. That just shows how many deals there are on the market. Although that one looks a little bit damaged. Now I'm curious, and we got to look at it together. That right there is not a rip or a tear. That's like where something sharp or a corner has like rippled against it. That is unfortunate because it's right on the front of the box as well. Little tiny imperfections in seals aren't an issue if you point them out to people, and people appreciate you pointing them out. Okay, this is a perfect example of how you should do an auction, especially for an elite trainer box of like an older sealed product. Okay, personally I would do a red circle around that to highlight it, but look at this. You want every single side photoed so that you can see the seal, the condition. Look, the rest of the box is actually pretty minty. He's done a really nice job. You've got a really nice bottom seal. I love to see this rippling along the bottom here as well. Love to see it. It's really indicative of like a real tight wrap. It was really wrapped well at the factory. It's not essential that you see this, but it's always a nice sign to see as well. And look, he's nicely done photos of both sides, both of the sides as well. Apart from that blemish, and that's quite a big blemish on the front of the box, it's not an actual tear. That box is super minty, so that's why it's sold for a little bit less. But still pretty decent, and they probably bought that. I mean, if they bought that for retail, they're still way up on that. So they do sell if you've got any imperfections, and that is a massive imperfection as well. Look, they still sell. Just drop the price a little bit. That's all you need to do. Drop the price 10% and it will sell like instantly like that. Doesn't matter if it's got imperfections. It's just easier to sell the minty stuff for market. Right, let's have a quick look at Brilliant Stars then. Brilliant Stars has always been trying to push back to its all-time high. We've talked about Brilliant Stars a lot, that it's around about that $300 psychological barrier, and it really needs to get multiple sales over 300 for the resistance to become a support. And you can see that 4 have sold yesterday for 304, probably all from the same seller, and that's a really positive thing to see. What I'd like to see over the next few weeks is more sales around about the 310 range for Brilliant Stars, and then I'd be confident that it's finally broken through that $300 price mark. Silver Tempest is going to have the same problem, keeps rebounding around this 300 mark. It's never quite got up to 300. It's sort of repelling off of it like a magnet. It's getting close to 300 and then bouncing back down. 270, 274, 274. Again, just give it some time. Might take a month for it to go up to 300, might take 6 months for it to get up to 300, but once it does, it's going to be the same with Brilliant Stars. They're just going to blast through, and there's going to be very little resistance for it to creep up to 400 then. Believe me, once they start moving, it will look like nothing's going on with Brilliant Stars and Silver Tempest for like at least a month or two, I think. And then once they finally start to go, kaboom, everyone starts FOMOing in. You got $400, $500 a box 12 months from now, I reckon, and that's when Fusion Strike and Lost Origin really start stepping up another level as well. You start seeing the $600, $700 a box for Fusion and Lost. I really do think it will happen. And Evolving Skies, who knows where Evolving Skies is going to be at, to be honest. 2k plus a box, I reckon. So yeah, Silver Tempest, it's going to take a little while for it to creep up to the 300, but once it does break through that, I think that there's going to be no brakes on it, just like Brilliant Stars. Here comes the fun bit. End of the video, niche product. Started looking at like random little products. Pokemon stacking tins. Interesting product. Cool little product, especially for kids as well. You get 3 booster packs on the inside and a coin. I prefer these to like the little mini tins as well. I know the little mini tins take up more space, but I just feel like they're more like jammed in. I think this is a better move forward to have products more like this, where the booster packs can kind of breathe on the inside. I like to see it. Now, I have no idea what packs are in this specific dragon tin. You have to be very careful when you're buying miscellaneous tins. The reason why is these kind of tins are usually in print for around about 2 years. And they have different print runs of these tins. And the pack contents, or the contents of the box, which packs you get inside of them, can vary depending on which print run they're on. That most likely, this dragon one I think is a little bit older. So I think that if it's and there's no way of telling the print run as far as I know. Maybe you can on the barcode. I don't know enough about this, but I need to look into it. Anyway, with some of the other tins, you can tell which print run they are by the type of seal on them. I don't know if there's a way of telling how early in a print run these stacking tins are. You'll have to let me know down below and we can all learn together. But these stacking tins, as a long-term play, and there's so many of them as well. There's so many different types of these stacking tins. But this dragon one in particular is creeping up in price. I don't know which packs are inside of it. If I had to guess, I'd probably say it's early Scarlet and Violet cards. So probably Scarlet and Violet base is in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Paldea Evolved or maybe some Obsidian Flames in there. If you have those 3 packs in there, that's quite a decent spread. You kind of don't know until you open it. I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can look at people opening them and see what they get in there. But I've had this before where I watch someone open them and then I open up a tin and it's got completely different packs in. So just be cautious of that going forward. But this dragon one in particular, most of the stacking tins, I think more of the more modern ones haven't really gone up in price. They're still sat for retail. But I always point out plays when I see them. This dragon tin is up 30%. Up 30% in the last 3 months. That's not bad, you know. It's cheap to buy into as well. So it sold for $20. Okay. But look at the range in price. Okay. So on the 14th of March, someone picked one up for $12. That's below retail. I think they retail for like $15. I'm not sure though. So someone picked one up sub-retail for $12. Okay. 1 month later, someone bought one for $20.99. Okay. That's a $9 price rise on a $12 purchase in 1 month. So what is that? 9 divided by 12 times 100. That's a 75% price rise. Yeah, okay, you have to eat some fees. But 75% price rise in 1 month. Yeah, you had to buy at the low of the market and sell at the high. But it's just interesting. And I like pointing out interesting niche plays to you guys. So it all depends on what packs are on the inside. Not a bad play. Maybe I'll buy some stacking tins. Because the more modern stacking tins, let's have a look. Look at how many different types there are. The more modern stacking tins are pretty cheap, you know. So let's have a look at... I think this is quite a modern one, this PokePond one. But I'm not really sure. Let's have a look. Last sales, $17. So what's that, like $3 over retail, I think? Or do they retail for 20? I don't even know. I know nothing about stacking tins. Let's be honest. But might be a play in the future. And it all just depends what packs you get on the inside. It is harder to sell those kind of tins because the end seller in 2 years' time, 3 years' time doesn't know what packs they are either. You could crack it open and sell the packs. You could crack it open and, you know, do like a... I'm trying to not say the name of the auction site. Do like a pack break with different packs inside. It's interesting. And its value is almost completely determined on what packs are on the inside. So... maybe buy a few, maybe open them up. I think they're a cool little display piece as well. I think that the tins are quite cool as well, will come in handy, having them around the house. I might buy some stacking tins. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and peace.